I am an introvert, so middle of nowhere is very pleasant for me. I like having just like vast areas where there's nobody. I am happiest just like being alone and having like nature all around me, and it's just very relaxing. I guess I always wanted a tiny house, like just kind of always made sense. I never thought, oh, I'm gonna buy a tiny house. It just came together, it manifested exactly, and it totally does make sense. I'm not a big house person. Hi, I am Crystal, and this is my tiny house in the middle of nowhere of Alaska. It's actually called Nelchina, and I've lived here for about 4 years. It's changed a lot, so I'm going to show you the construction that I've been doing, and I just painted this deck and added all the siding here. It's been a long process, but it's been fun. So in Alaska, we have really big mosquitoes, and we joke that it's the Alaska state bird, and that is why you have to have a bug screen on your house. And this one's great because it snaps. Welcome to the tiny home. We are going to start off in the kitchen. It's fully functional. Everything works except for the water here. We are actually a dry cabin right now, so we don't have running water. So I use these 5-gallon tanks. I have one in here, one in the bathroom. And my next goal is to build a shallow water well, 35 feet deep. But we'll see if that works out. I do use Clorox wipes for cleaning, and then use this mainly for things like coffee and cooking and washing hands every now and then. This is my stove, and it is propane. Originally it was gas, and it got switched to propane. So the propane tank is outside, and then the wire runs in here, and it's pretty efficient. I actually would not go back to an electric stove. It cooks so much better having the flame there. And this is pretty fun. This is the fan. So this is what I use when I'm cooking if there's going to be a lot of smoke, and it just shoots out the front of the house and keeps it nice in here. Obviously I have white cupboards. This was one of the things that, so when I bought the shell, which is just this bottom part, I renovated this whole area and redid the floors, redid the countertops, painted everything, redid the hardware. And obviously white is, it's pretty, but it can be a problem if you constantly have smoke going, and it could get dirty. So this helps a lot, and that's something that other tiny homes don't necessarily have, and I would recommend. And like I said, it just shoots out the front, and you could put a vent anywhere as long as it's on an exterior wall. Electricity, so I have a microwave here, heat up my coffee because it's Alaska, it gets cold pretty quick. The first year I lived here, I did not have electricity. I would run just a wire from another cabin to here and only be able to charge my cell phone. So it's like so nice having electricity, having lights, having microwave, having toaster oven, air fryer. Air fryer is like the appliance of 2020. Get yourself one if you don't have it. So obviously this kitchen is quite big for a tiny home, tons of storage. So we have food and all of the dishes up here, spices, and despite all that, I still wanted a little bar. So I built this here, and I wanted it to have bar feels, so I put my alcohol here. It has these cute little bar stools, and then I custom made this adorable little picture frame out of recycled wood. So it's really important to me that I used recycled material as much as possible. So all of the wood that I use, except for structural construction things, is recycled. So I redid the siding on the outside of the house, and that I used recycled wood for, and it had been sitting around for a long time, so it was a job to do it. But it's just more important to me that I'm using things that are environmentally friendly. I have kind of not a tiny fridge, but not a large fridge. It's a medium-sized fridge, and even that is usually pretty small for me, but just because I like to have a lot of food on hand. The nearest grocery store is an hour and a half away, and we go probably every 2 weeks. So it is important to have like a bigger fridge out here. I have this little wood stove, which it definitely needs a little touch up. I love this thing. It does get the house way too hot. So it basically, I start it and 30 minutes later, it's too hot to even hang out in the house, and I have to go outside. Makes you want to swim in the snow. Welcome to the living room. This is really exciting for me because I just moved my bed up into the loft I'm building. Prior to that, I had a queen size bed in here, and while it was comfortable for me, whenever I had guests over, it was mostly awkward because my bed's in the living room, and people feel uncomfortable sitting on it sometimes. So this is like a very welcome addition. And this here is actually a day bed, as you would call it. It's just a twin size bed. So if I do have friends over and they want to stay over, I can just put them here and like pull off all the pillows and they can sleep there. There's also a pretty decent amount of storage underneath. So I keep workout equipment and other things that I want hidden. My suitcases are down there because I do travel a lot. But this here is like my favorite part, just having a coffee table. I didn't have one before. I just had a little table next to my bed. But like sitting here and drinking coffee or drinking a drink at the end of the night and watching TV is just such a blessing after having your bed in the living room. Most of the things I have in this house and the things I wear are almost all from the thrift store. So 90% of the things I own were either thrifted or given to me from a friend. And that's just another important element to me of being environmentally responsible, but also it's super fun to like find cool things that you would spend a fortune on and then you don't have to. Next we have TV. I'm not a big TV watcher. I rarely turn it on. And this was a gift from my mom. And so I try to watch it, but it's just kind of nice when I do have people over, I can turn it on and we can watch a movie or something. This was also a gift from my mom, and it's a big trunk, and I really love it because it's a great place to store stuff. For a while, I would put stuff on top of it, and then I would have to move it all the time, and so efficiency made me decide no more stuff on top. Next, I'm going to show you guys just a quick tour of the bathroom. It has a sliding door, little pocket door, which is pretty great. I feel like sometimes it blocks the Wi-Fi, but you know, first world problems. So this is the bathroom, and when I originally bought it, it had a toilet, which I will re-put in once I get running water. It will be liquid only. I have an outhouse for anything else, anything solid. Again, lots of storage. So here we have the sink, 5-gallon container until we get the water going. I have cupboards and drawers. I also have this cabinet here that's full of stuff. Lighting. I have a shower. Again, right now is storage, which is great until I have running water, and then I'll have to find a place to put all of that. These are really great. They just kind of hang up and you could put a bunch of stuff in them. Right now I have an emergency toilet for when you can't go outside, when the weather's too bad, or in the middle of the night. And then I have this storage space, which I really like, but eventually I'll add like a cabinet on it to kind of hide all of that stuff. And some mirrors, some towels. Window, and that's the bathroom. Welcome to my loft. This is the thing that I've been building for the last few months, and it's taken a long time. There's a lot more to it than you actually see here. So the roof that I had on my tiny house was actually slanted, so I had to go in and actually build up the whole thing to make it level and re-insulate it and move electric up here. I haven't hooked up the electric yet, but I have the wires here. I'm gonna do a couple of plugs and then also a light and a light switch, and then I have my electric heater that I'm gonna do in. So I pulled all the wires up here, put them down into the box, ready to be installed. Up here you can see the top of the wood stove, and it's just going to sit there until I decide I'm ready to cut the hole through and run it up. Right now, all I have up here, actually just got this in because I just got the windows in. It's just my bed. This is actually a queen size bed. I don't know if that helps like kind of delegate how big or show you how big the space is. These rafters are 12 feet. And in the center here, it's about 10 feet plus a couple of inches. Originally, I really wanted a sliding glass door over here, but it turns out they don't make them this size. So I settled for a window that was 48 by 60. And then I'm just gonna do a cute little bench here so I could sit and look out the window and enjoy the view, which is really pretty. We just got snow on the mountain outside an hour ago. I can't believe it's fall already. I'm not ready. All right, welcome to the deck. This is one of my favorite spaces. So I actually got these chairs secondhand and painted them in a 3-tone paint. Right now they're all rained on and just got hailed on. And it was a really fun project just to kind of jazz up the space a little bit. We also have some actual greenery. These are not fake. And I've managed to keep them alive. I do not have a green thumb. I maybe have a brown thumb. Everything I try to grow usually dies, but so far these have been okay. I have these strawberry plants. These are green strawberries, but they will eventually get red, I hope, even though we had hail today. Having a tiny house is the efficiency that you could spend so much less money to add pizzazz to it because it's a smaller space. You're spending less on electricity. You're spending less time cleaning. And so those are like the coolest parts about having a tiny house. This deck 2 months ago was all recycled wood. Didn't look very pretty. I decided to paint it black because a lot of the hardware stores will sell paint that people return for a really low price. So normally it would be like $120 for the 5-gallon, and it's only $30 if you get it returned. And so luckily that's what we got here. And then I also built the siding just last month using recycled wood. So these are actually all pieces that used to be at somebody's fence. And so I just kind of stapled them together, nailed them together to create this. And I kind of have this outlet here, and then I also have this outlet here. So it kind of gives me lots of space to get out into the green that is out here. Last thing that I want to show you is my outhouse. I'm pretty proud of this because I built it again by myself out of recycled wood. I used recycled paint on this. It's kind of fun. We have a little curtain. I didn't originally have a curtain. I just wanted it open so you could see the views. But one time I was sitting in there and a plane flew over and it was pretty close, and I was like, oh, hey. So I decided to put a curtain on just in case. And then, yeah, this is it. Something that we do in Alaska is we'll take off the toilet seats in the winter and put a styrofoam seat down because sitting on porcelain is cold, and the styrofoam doesn't get cold. You can sit on it, no problem. You don't have that whoop feel when you have to pee. But yeah, this is the business spot. So I have lived on the road for a really long time, like as a tour guide, a small group adventure tour guide, leading tours around America, and then working at camps, working in outdoor education. I've mostly lived out of the suitcase, so this is a big upgrade. Like, I'm living in a palace compared to how I normally live, whether it's out of a suitcase or out of a car, out of a van or out of a trailer. This is really, I've moved up in the world. It's just really fun to be able to create and like see the bounty of that every day. It's very fulfilling, and I am quite a humble person, but I'm so proud of what I've been able to create. I don't see a lifestyle change. I really like living here, and I like living alone. I might get a cat, maybe, you know? Yeah, so forever for sure. Thank you for taking a peek at my tiny house. It was nice to have you. If you want to follow me on Instagram, it's tinyhouse.alaska, and hope to see you there.